Good evening. Welcome back to the Celtic Way. It's match night. Celtic versus Dundee. The line-up reaction. Palma Yang are given a nod as Trusty and Calvin Carter-Vickers start. I'm Tony Haggerty, at Haggerty10 on the X handle. I'm delighted as always to be joined by Ryan McGinley at the Ryan McGinley Park somewhere near Celtic Park. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Things are good, yeah. It's a much changed 11. I thought Brendan Rodgers said that he wasn't going to do this anymore, and yet he's made, we've counted, 6 changes he's made?
Changes.
Yeah, I'll just read out the team in full for those that haven't seen it yet or maybe are listening rather than watching. It's Kasper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Greg Taylor, Austin Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Anthony Ralston. The midfield three is Paulo Bernardo, Luke McCowan and Arne Engels. And the front three is Lewis Palma, Kyogo Furuhashi and Hyun-Jun Yang. So a lot of changes. The subs tonight are Sinisalo, Johnson, Scales, Bailly, Maeda, Hatate, Forrest, Welsh and Turley. So no Adamida, no Callum McGregor and no Nicholas Kuhn involved in the team whatsoever tonight, which is quite surprising. I think the one that I'm most surprised about is Kuhn, to be honest, because I didn't know there was anything underlying with him.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just he's saving them for Saturday. You would like to think so, but I think Hamish alluded to it this morning, didn't he? That there was a leaked team overnight, and a couple of people, Chris D, in the comments saying leak squad was right, but how? And someone else saying the same, David Ferguson saying the leak was right. So yeah, I'm a wee bit perturbed about that, Ryan. Don't like that happening. Teams getting leaked and stuff overnight and to other people before everybody else finds out. So that leak has to be plugged as soon as possible. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, interesting team, I think's the word there, Ryan. 6 changes. Those changes being Cameron Carter-Vickers, Ralston and Taylor in the back 4, and Engels back in and Palma and Yang. And you said that Palma would possibly come back in, but Yang's a wild card, is it not? An absolute wild
card. I believe that's his first start of the season if you don't count the game against Sligo Rovers. It's the first start of the season for Yang. We've hardly seen him for weeks, and then all of a sudden he's thrust straight into things, which would make me suggest or make me believe that there's maybe a knock that Kuhn got. Now, Kuhn was on the end of a bad tackle at the end.
Sure.
At the same moment where Ida got that potential ankle breaker. Now, the fact that Ida isn't in the team would make you suggest that the scan maybe wasn't good news, although we'll wait and hear the prognosis or the diagnosis from Brendan Rodgers when he speaks to the media pre-match. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and he can come back in the next couple of games. But there's a lot of pressure tonight on Kyogo. Maeda's on the bench, as I predicted. I thought he would be on the bench just as cover in the strike positions. But it's a big chance tonight for the likes of Palma and Yang. Now, I remember the two of them particularly playing well against Aberdeen round about this time of the year. It was 6-0. The two of them ran, I think it was Barry Robson's team at the time, absolutely ragged in that game. I want the same to happen tonight against Dundee. I want the two of them to take their chance. But yeah, lots of changes. It's interesting. I just hope it all clicks on the pitch.
Yes, indeed. There are lots of comments coming in about this team, Ryan, so I'll read a few of them out. Christopher Patterson, evening, Christopher, how are you doing? Evening, guys. In my opinion, it's too many changes from Sunday. It's a big risk. Hope it doesn't backfire. And Rodgers, he's saying, Thomas John, James Muirhead, has Kuhn picked up a knock from tackle the other day? That's what you were asking as well. Don Quadrado coming in saying 3 games in 6 and 6. I think he's meaning 3 games in 7 days. Squad management, he's saying, by Rodgers. Eugene Ritchie saying it's good rotation from Rodgers. George is saying the back 4 okay, solid enough. Yang out of nowhere. Hope all is okay with Kuhn. And Big Ken Dog saying Palma needs a good game. Otherwise, he believes his Celtic's career is dead. I think that's a bit hyperbolic, but I get where he's coming from. Colin Devlin saying it's still a strong team. And Hazel Finn, evening Hazel, how are you doing? Regular contributor. The changes have a chance to prove that. That's saying that the players that are coming in for those changes that are made have a chance to prove they're good squad players. I agree with that. So we shall see what happens, Ryan. But what do you think? Do you think that Palma can have a good a game as he did that time against Aberdeen? Can Yang do the same? Can they both turn it on?
think it's all about the quality that they receive in terms of passes, quick passes into the positions where they want to be in. Palma likes to cut in and take shots from distance. Yang is more direct in his play. He's got a bit of pace about him. And Kyogo will be looking for distribution from those two players as well. So a goal or an assist for either of them would constitute a good evening for them both. But I want to see a good performance from the two of them. They'll realise tonight that it's a big opportunity for them.
Yeah.
They've both been given this chance. The chance has been kind of thrusted upon them. And it's up to them to really sink or swim at Celtic, because Palma in particular had a great start to his Celtic career. The numbers that he had in the first 4 or 5 months of his Celtic career were brilliant. And then he's fallen off completely. And Yang's not really so much fallen off as he's kind of vanished off the face of the earth at times. He'll have a good game or 2 good games, and he'll have a bad game, and you won't see him for 2 or 3 months. There's no consistency in his game. I think that's the one consistent, is that he's inconsistent in his play. But I remember in particular after that Aberdeen game, I was saying that there's definitely something there with Yang. You've just got to nurture it. Well, now's your chance to show it. You've been here a year. You're not a new player anymore. You're a seasoned, not a seasoned veteran, I'm not going to say that, but he's been around the club. There's players that have been at the club for less time than Yang and have made more of an impact in that time. So it's up to him to really sort of take the narrative back and really put his Celtic career back on track, because he's been MIA for months, and then all of a sudden he's thrust back into things. I hope it's not too big a jump for him, but if he does well, then Celtic will do well, and I hope that both wingers really take this opportunity, this golden opportunity that's been given to them tonight.
Well, I tell you who's not MIA, Ryan, yourself and myself. We're never missing an action. We're here and we'll be here after the game as well. So thank you to the almost 300 people that are joining us live before the game. We appreciate it. Alexander Sharp, still strong team. If Palma doesn't produce tonight, it'll be sayonara, he thinks. JJ McGarvey, the leaks are worry. Transfer targets will be found in the bin soon again. Yang and Palma have a chance. They have to take it. Exactly, they have to take it. Nearly D saying great opportunities for Yang and Palma tonight. Let's hope they show their best sides. Exactly. Thomas John James will come back in. He doesn't have any faith in Yang. That's fair enough. I can understand that. Dog 98. Rogers probably using the game to see if Yang, Palma, etc. are worthy of a shirt. If they're not, then they need sent away or sold. Steve will saying Palma, now is your time. I think you were kind of issuing the same rallying call, weren't you, for Palma? And Jackie Dallin, who's a member. Thanks for that, Jackie. Appreciate it. Too much change for Jackie's liking. She hopes Yang does well tonight because she quite likes him as a player. Big Dom and Brendan, we Trusty. See what he did there, Ryan? See what Big Dom did there?
Trusty the process.
Yeah, Simon Fedeni saying they must be producing and training, otherwise they wouldn't get a sniff.
That's very true. Very true, and a good point from Simon.
Yeah, we do lay a great stock on that, don't we? That Brendan Rodgers watches guys in training. So Steve will come in and saying Yang destroyed Dundee last year, and John Clements coming in and saying Yang in his best game at Celtic Park against Dundee, if memory serves. Palma upped his work rate when he's come on recently. Palma to score and Yang to have 2 assists. There you go, Ryan.
See that?
Okay. And Ultra Wido saying he still thinks Yang is a future at the club. And Hazel Finn saying still plenty of quality in the bench if needed. So, yeah, I mean, a kind of mixed bag on. And Christopher Patterson coming in saying good news. Anita Brennan has just said that to BBC Radio Scotland. So that's good news. That is. Christopher Patterson, hope you can enlighten us a wee bit more, but clearly it's not as bad as they first thought, so happy with that. And Don Quadrado come back in saying it's a good opportunity for Brendan to see these players in a game situation. There's a big difference between training and the game. There very much is, but it is a good point that was made by one of the contributors there saying that he's obviously watched them in training, Ryan, and he feels that they're ready. Yeah?
Yeah, and this is the best opportunity, and it's probably... I was talking about, I remember when the Falkirk game came along, and that was Palmer's big opportunity. It was kind of talking about that for a couple of weeks, that was the game that he had to impress. He didn't impress in that game, and now the next big opportunity he's got is a month on against Dundee. So it just goes to show you that these chances don't come around every day. You've got to take them once they're handed to you. And the same goes for Yang too. I just hope the two of them do themselves justice. They're going to need to be relied upon. I'm completely backing the two of them to do well tonight, because
you trusting the manager, Ryan? Is that what you're saying? You're trusting the manager? all that kind of stuff.
They must be in the team for a reason, Tony. They must be doing it in training and showing that they're able to be depended upon when called upon. So I'm particularly looking forward to Palma's performance tonight. I really want him to do well. I think he's a very likeable guy. He clearly gets on with all of his teammates, and I always look at the Instagrams after the game to see who's talking to each other, who's putting comments. Palma's one of the mates of everybody. He always puts emojis or comments onto other players' Instagram. I know he's had a bit of stick for his Instagram recently, but I like that he's showing that moral support for the players.
He's talking on the pitch, Ryan.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But now's his chance to do it.
Yeah.
You know, all the time for talking is over. It's now time to show that. Sorry.
Think to be just Christopher Patterson coming back in. I think that's in relation to Ida. It's just bruising, and he could be available for Saturday. So that is great news. Thankfully, that's a good update there. So thank you for that. Appreciate that, guys. Obviously, we don't have the radio on in the background when we're doing the live broadcast. And Francis Lester, evening, Francis, regular contributor as well. If this lineup doesn't beat Dundee, then you don't deserve a first team slot. My thoughts exactly, Francis. This is the chance for Palma and Yang to remind everybody that they're still around and they do have a future at the club. And just to say to the manager, you can trust me, with a game of this importance. Brendan Rodgers said it himself, Ryan, don't care what's happening elsewhere. This is a massive game for Celtic. Has he taken a big risk by making 6 changes? We will find out in the fullness of time. He did say before he wouldn't make as many changes as that, but maybe he feels it's the right time to do that ahead of the Scottish League Cup semi-final against Aberdeen at Hampden on Saturday. He has the luxury of doing that. Now these guys that are coming in have to produce, Ryan. There is no, as they say in Star Wars, there is no try, do, basically, isn't it? You have to do tonight. You have to play. You have to turn up and step up to the plate. You have been given this opportunity, so show that you're worthy and give the manager food for thought for Saturday, even though you think probably the lineup could eventually pick itself.
Yeah, for those of a Celtic persuasion tonight, the biggest game that's on tonight is Celtic versus Dundee. And it's got to be Celtic versus Dundee, and I hope that the players, the manager will be that, the players will be drilled into them. It doesn't matter what's happening elsewhere tonight. I know there's a big game on at 8 o'clock, but Celtic have just got to keep on doing what they've been doing and winning games and just keeping on getting those points. The two teams that are facing off tonight, whatever result, I think will be a positive for Celtic. There's different ways to look at it, but as long as it's only a positive result if Celtic get the 3 points against Dundee. Does it make it a tad riskier knowing that Celtic have made 6 changes in multiple areas for squad fluidity and squad flow? Slightly, yeah. It does worry me a tad, because if it doesn't work, then you're scrambling in the second half to try and get a result. But if it does work, then it's food for thought for Saturday and the games ahead, because these players can be relied upon. It's a big game for Palma. It's a big game for Yang. I'd also say it's just as big a game for Arne Engels as well. I want to see more of the £11 million signing. Came in and played the first few games rather than the one that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 games. Yes, he had a good defensive performance against Atalanta, but on the ball, he's not been that great. He's not been as influential as what he was. Tonight's a big opportunity for him. I think he's going to take it with both hands tonight. I think we'll all be raving about him by the time the full-time whistle goes. I think he's heard it all. He's probably heard it all, and he wants to show how good he is tonight. And that's my hope. I hope he comes out with the right attitude. I'm sure he will.
Hope he comes out swinging, Ryan. He's maybe read some of that. I wouldn't say criticism, but observations on him, Quinny coming in. Tony is Yoda for Halloween. I always say that I'm a kind of Yoda to young Jedi Ryan there, but there you go. David Ferguson, Tony, pulling out the Star Wars quips. Yeah, you know how it is, guys, but there you go. Scott Dougal on the light shift, on the break. Big risk with the changes that Brendan's made, but he's trusting the manager. Paul Rees coming in. Paul needs to take this opportunity with the January window looming as well. And Daniel Phillips, very impressed with Brendan making some spectacular changes for the starting lineup so Celtic can be ready. He reckons that Celtic will beat Dundee tonight and be confident of 100% for Aberdeen this Saturday night. That's what he's saying. Colin Stewart, keeping up Star Wars theme. I hope the force is with us, Tony. Yep, indeed. And Hazel Finn also saying with you, Ryan, he'll be interested to see how this midfield works out. It seems a strange thing to say that it's a big game for Arne Engels as well, isn't it? In terms of what he's produced recently, and I think he'll know and I think he'll have the bit between the teeth, Ryan, and I think he'll have something to prove to himself, not to anybody else. Two people, as I say, well, you only ever really need to impress two people, yourself and the manager. So I'm fairly confident that Engels will turn it on again. Kenny Todd coming in saying he hopes Yang is a good game. He needs to play regular games to get forward in the pecking order. And Christopher Patterson saying Celtic have to look after themselves. They have no impact in the other game. It's out of Celtic's hands. Said that all week. And Scott Dougal going early with his prediction, Ryan. 5-0 Kyogo hat-trick. There you go. And Francis Lester saying, remember guys, Celtic TV shown in the UK in a pay-per-view tonight. So that's if anybody wants to tune in and do that. But yep, and Steve-O coming in saying that Trusty Cameron Carter-Vickers combo just looks so good. We'll find out again. What time are we at? We'll find out in less than 45 minutes, Ryan, if that Trusty Cameron Carter-Vickers All-American boy partnership can be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the American wall is here in the shape of Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty. Looking forward to seeing the two of them in action tonight. I've been waiting for a wee while. I know we got a slight glimpse of them against Motherwell at the weekend, but I want to see more of it. Plus, yeah. I think it's handy having Greg Taylor there as well, a naturalised left back rather than Scales, who's very much filling in there. He hadn't played there for 2-3 years before moving back into that position. Big night for Tony Ralston as well. He's a guy that never lets you down. He's got his limitations as a football player, but one thing you cannot deny him of is his determination, grit, and hard work for the team. Brendan Rodgers is always very quick to give him plenty of compliments, saying that he doesn't get as much game time as what both he and the player would like. But when he's there, he can go in and put in a shift, and you know what you're going to get. I think it's smart rotation because you need to manage Alistair Johnston's games. If he's going to be that influential at right back, like he was against Motherwell, then take games out in which he can stay on the bench for a bit, maybe only come on for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, keep him fresh, because he's an important weapon for Celtic to have, both in defence and attack going forward. So I like this. I like the rotation. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it goes to plan. But at the moment, I think it's smart given the amount of games that Celtic have. You don't want them completely emptying their gas tank after 60 minutes against Leipzig at home. I think it's smart to look ahead, with the potential of playing extra time against Aberdeen as well, because it's a one-off tie. I think that'll be in Brendan Rodgers' psyche and mindset as well going into this game. I think it's smart. I hope it pays off.
Ronnie Young saying a win tonight shows the squad depth is getting to where Brendan wants it, and David Ferguson saying that Scales deserves the rest, and Paul Rees is saying Scales back on Saturday for him with Cameron Carter-Vickers. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I think of all the matches that were coming up, this one was the one that was ripe for squad rotation. Did I think the manager would rotate that much? No, I didn't, but he has. And so we all know what happened the last time they rotated, and it was against Falkirk in the League Cup, and it took them a while to get going in that game, but they eventually saw Falkirk by 4-2. Was that right? 5-2?
5-2, yeah, 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2, sorry, yes. I was shocking a goal off there, Ryan, for some reason. Yeah, 5-2. But yeah, got there in the end. But I wouldn't like to think that it would be as hairy as that, Ryan, in this particular match. Just hope that those players understand the importance of 3 points tonight and get stuck in about it right from the off. Guys, as I say, have got things to prove to themselves, to prove to the manager, and some of them have got things to prove to the supporters as well, that they deserve to still be there at the club fighting and amongst that the first team fringes. So I'm looking forward to see the kind of appetite and attitude, especially like Palma and Yang. I know Engels is a player, and I have no qualms about Engels coming good, starting tonight and in the future for Celtic. But I think Engels is gonna, with Leipzig in mind as well, Ryan, you want to just lay a wee marker down and say to the manager, right, a couple of big games around the corner, semi-final Saturday, Leipzig in midweek, the Champions League. I want to be part of that, and I want to see him. I want to see Engels boss it tonight, to be honest.
Yes, I hope he has a great 60 minutes on the park, because I hope that the game's over by then and Celtic can take him off and rest him. Celtic have got big games coming up, and you want the record signing to be fit and ready for them, and in good form too. You can get a couple of goals, maybe an assist or two, and then bring him off after 60 minutes. I want to see a highlight performance tonight from Arne Engels. We know he's a classy footballer. We know he's good on the ball. We know he's physical. I want to see it tonight. I want to see one of those thunderbolts that he's got in his boots come out to play tonight and go in the back of the net. He's been threatening it. He was threatening it more in the first couple of games, 2-3 games. I was like, there's a thunder strike coming somewhere. And I want to see it from Engels tonight. I'm desperate for him to really show us what a good player he is. We know he's good. He's got it in him. We've seen it at the start of his Celtic career. It's had a wee bit of a dip. I want to see it tonight from him. If that's the case, then you can bring him off and then rest him for Saturday and Tuesday. But it's all about the squad rotation here. There's no dropping. I see people in the comments saying that Scales was dropped. No, rotation's a very real thing now, and it's a byproduct of how many games Celtic play now.
It's all about the R&R, Ryan. The rest and recuperation, as the manager always talks about. Colin Stewart coming in saying Brendan Rodgers knows what he's doing. We certainly like to think so. Guys, 500 odd people joining us on the live stream. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'll let Ryan do his spiel, which is running along the strap line at the bottom, as he usually does. Take it away, sir.
Of course. First of all, you can subscribe to us, which is absolutely free. We know that the majority of people who are watching these videos aren't subscribed. So why don't you subscribe? It's completely free. You'll get notifications when we go live with these videos, as well as a post-match video that will be coming on later on tonight, maybe even earlier tomorrow. In fact, I think it'll be later on tonight. It should be, because it's an earlier kick-off. If it was 8 o'clock, I think you'd be pushing it ever so slightly, but we should be on after the game, soon enough after the game. And if you want to support us just that little bit more, you can join our YouTube members channel, which is just £2.99 a month, where you will receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. Press that join button if you're on the desktop and get involved and become a member on the Celtic way and enjoy all of those exclusive benefits that you're given by subscribing. So thank you very much, guys.
We appreciate it. We appreciate every subscriber that's out there, old and new. But yeah, it's we know you've got a choice of viewing, and lots of people decide to come and view the Celtic way. So thank you for that. Couldn't do it without you. We always say that. That's why we read a lot of your comments out. We try and get through as many of them as possible when we're doing these kind of shows. Pre-match shows always contain predictions. So get them coming in, guys. Money Maestro Kickers are predicting a 4-0 win for Celtic. Let's have a few more in the group chat, guys, and I'll try and read a few of them out. Myself and Ryan will give you our predictions at the end of the broadcast. Anything else, Ryan, that springs to mind there? Bernardo was a bit quiet on Sunday, wasn't he? Hoping he lifts his levels tonight.
He was when I watched him, and then you've got that 50-50 that I always do. You do the 50-50, so the eye test, and then you've got the stats as well. He was actually very busy. He was Celtic's top combined tackles and interceptions in the game. He had the most for Celtic, so it showed that he is getting about his business. Maybe it wasn't flashy, but as the deepest midfielder, he's not needing to be flashy. It just so happens when Callum McGregor plays there, sometimes he scores goals, sometimes he goes on marauding runs, but he was doing his job well on Sunday, and hopefully he gets a bit more of a free license to go forward and create for Celtic tonight. The three are fluid. McCowan, Engels and Bernardo will all move and interchange when they see fit in games, and they can all cover each other. So those positions, they're not set in stone. They'll be all over the pitch. Palma Yang will be defending. You'll have some defenders that go further forward. You'll have Taylor in the midfield as well, Kyogo dropping back. So as much as you see the 11, they move in different areas. Those are the assignments that are set. They can still deviate from them and cause problems when needed. Yeah,
they've got license to roam. Got a lot of those players. Big Ken Dog 3-0, Ryan. Hazel Finn 3-0. Paul Rees 3-0. There's a treble of 3-0s. CJ 2-0, 2 late goals. He's saying, there you go. Brian McGarry, fancy Q over a hat trick, but not with that front three, but you think he'll still score 3-0, he's saying as well. Martin Nicol, 3-0 clean sheet for, and he's put a wee ghost there, Ryan. Casper, he's talking about clean sheet. See what he did there? 0-0 half time, says David Ferguson, 3-0 full time. Jackie Dillon, ever confident, 5-0 to Celtic. And Steve-O predicting a happy gap from one team tonight. And William O'Toole coming in saying the whole point of having a squad is use them all as and when you can. 3-0 to Celtic, he's saying. 5-0 says Robert T. Kerr. And and Stephen McFarlane saying could be a nervous 3-0, 1-0 with 15 minutes, then 2 late goals after 60 minutes, he's saying. So Still lots of predictions there, Ryan, for a Celtic win. 3-0 being the favourite scoreline. So, and then Peter Murphy, my good friend, coming in from Gibraltar. Good evening, Action Ryan, for a very wet Gibraltar. There you go,
Right here as well.
Give us your if you can. TJ Lindsay 4-1. He's saying, "Okay, Ryan, before you head off to Paradise, I'll ask you for your own prediction. When you go, sir."
I'm going to go for 5-0.
5-0.
I think Celtic will score goals. I would have predicted more if the team was different. If it was Kuhn and Maeda, maybe even Ida up front. But I think that Celtic will still be comfortable winners here. I think they'll want to put out a message. I think there'll be a couple of goals up before that game even kicks off at Pittodrie, just to send a wee message to those in attendance at Pittodrie that Celtic are on the title charge, and whatever happens at Pittodrie, then
that's
so
a rolling 15 minutes you're predicting there, Ryan. Daniel Phillips coming in 6-0, a big win, unbeaten run.
We're not scoring the 5 goals after 15 minutes. We're only scoring 2. 2 will do me.
Peter Murphy, I'm going to go with Peter. Big changes, but still fancy Celtic to win 4-0. Peter, that was my thoughts exactly. I'll go 4-0. Was that 1 down from you, Ryan? I usually go 1 up or 1 down, don't I? So I'll go for 4-0. And but yeah, so we shall see what transpires. 6 changes for Celtic tonight. Big outing for Palma and Yang. Big chance to sort of get themselves back in that first team fold again and back in the good books with the Celtic supporters. Scrappy 1-0, says Jay. Yang and Colin Stewart saying, "What a shout, Ryan, love it." What shout was that? 5-0 was he saying? Or the 2 goals?
I think it was 2 goals. There was that game last season that Celtic had against Dundee, and everything that they touched turned to gold, or turned to goals rather. And I hope that that's the same tonight. But I'm actually being quite concerned. No, I'm not. No, in fact, that sounds quite arrogant, and I don't mean it like that. But I honestly would have predicted more if it was a stronger team tonight. But I'm still confident that this team can do the business. Both the players that are starting and the players that are on the bench can go and make the difference tonight, and maybe have Celtic 3 points clear. You never know. Or I don't know what's going to happen in the other game. To be honest, I'm trying not to talk about it. And yet I've mentioned it about 4 or 5 times. It's a big night in Scottish football. It is a big night, but the most important thing is that Celtic just keep on doing what they've been doing, and that's winning football matches. If they can do that, then they'll be in the right place come the end of the season. And whatever happens in other fixtures, so be it.
Kingdom 54, big game for Engels tonight. Playing to start on Saturday and against RB Leipzig next week. We've spoken about that. Kingdom, that's echoing my sentiments. Robert Pastick, 3-0. Hail, hail from St Ives and Cornwall. Wherever you are, hope you enjoy the game. Ims 5-0 by Ryan. Spat my coffee out. Well, there you go, Ryan. Well, on that note, I think we'll let young Ryan go and enjoy the football fest that's about to commence at Celtic Park. Half an hour before kick-off, I think that's an apt way to let you go. Ryan, as always, as I say, enjoy the game. Wherever you are, result dependent, enjoy it. Myself and Ryan will be back on after the instant analysis, player ratings, and the Q&As have all been safely uploaded onto the website. We'll be on at some point. Just keep an eye out for the notifications. It'll be a late one, won't it, Ryan?
It will be a late one or an early one tomorrow, regardless of what way you think about it, to be honest with you. But we will be on live after the game. I might even stagger the player ratings until tomorrow morning, just seeing how the time goes, etc. But yeah, we'll be on live with a post-match reaction. Whenever that'll be, I'm not sure, but we will be on live.
Indeed. Enjoy the game, Ryan says Kingdom 54. Thomas, great show, fellas. Thank you, Thomas, Sean. Appreciate it. Marky T, last minute prediction there, 4-0 Celtic. Hazel fan, great chat, guys. Thank you, Hazel. Appreciate it. Ryan, on you go. Have a good night, sir. And we will reconvene at some point tonight. Thank you to the 500 or so that joined us live. Really do appreciate it, guys. As I say, we try and read out your comments as much as we can. Take care, and we'll see you all in a few hours. Here's hoping there's another 3 weeks and Celtic are still at the top of the table. Take it easy, guys. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game.